So welcome officially. My name is Crystal. I am a coordinator for the California Community Colleges Success Network, or 3CSN. That is a professional learning grant out of the Chancellor's Office that funds amazing opportunities like these to get folks together from all over the state of California and beyond, to network and to share strengths, to think about how we can build more powerful learning networks so we can create more powerful learning for our students at all of our institutions. Every Friday, 3CSN gives us the airwaves. So at 3 o'clock every Friday, the peer educators take over. So the peer mentors, the SI leaders, the tutors, we all take over and we talk about what we do and all of the awesome things that we're able to accomplish so we can develop our own networks and exchange our own ideas. Today I am very, very happy to invite our College Promise team to talk to us about coaching. So we can throw some coaching and mentoring into the mix. We're super, super excited to have you here. We're super excited to learn. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Joanna, who's going to lead our session today. Take it away, Joanna.
Hi, everybody. I'm going to very briefly lead, but then I'm turning it over to the coaches, which you are going to hear from them today. But my name is Joanna Zimring-Town, and I'm the faculty coordinator for the Los Angeles College Promise program. I'm also a 3CSN coordinator, and my sort of day job, if you will, I'm actually a faculty counselor in the LA Community College District. But for the past 4+ years, I have been on loan from Pierce College to the district office to coordinate the LA College Promise program. And we are super excited to be here. We're really excited to bring coaches and success coaches to the peer educator conversation. And today you're going to hear from a few of our adjunct counselors in LA College Promise and some of our lead success coaches from a few of our 9 campuses. So I am actually going to be monitoring the chat throughout the session. After this, you're not going to hear from me at all, but I will be in the chat. So feel free if you have any questions. I'm happy to answer those questions in the chat, and then we'll have plenty of time for discussion and questions during the 4 o'clock hour. So with that, I'm going to have the team introduce themselves briefly. So Giselle, you want to introduce yourself?
Of course. Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. So my name is Giselle Ramirez, and I'm one of the adjunct counselors for the LA College Promise program within LACCD. So I am a product of the community college. I started within LA Mission College, and then throughout my whole studies, I was a success coach, a lead coach, until I got my master's degree from USC. And now full circle, I am a counselor serving back to our students and hoping to help them find their paths.
Wonderful. Pauline.
Hey everyone, good afternoon. My name is Pauline Diaz, and I'm also an adjunct counselor for the Los Angeles College Promise. And just like Giselle mentioned, I am also a product of community college. I was also an OG success coach. So when it barely started, I am an original and excited. And now I'm currently a counselor and helping the students as well. So welcome.
And Angela.
Hi everyone, my name is Angela. I'm the lead success coach over at the East Los Angeles College campus with a College Promise. I also began my journey in community college. I'm an ELAC alumna, and I have since transferred to USC to finish my undergrad, and I'm really excited to be here with you all. Thank you, Joanna, back to you.
Celia?
Hi, everyone. Great evening. My name is Elia. I am also a product of community college. I actually graduated from LA Mission College. Then I transferred to CSU Los Angeles to get my bachelor's. And now here I am at USC getting my master's. Then I became a success coach for the last 4 years. And then here I am, the lead coach representing my alma mater. So it feels good to see each and every one of your faces.
Thank you. And Michelle?
Hi everyone, good afternoon. My name is Michelle Sanchez. I am also a product of the Promise program. I was part of the first cohort at Valley College. I did my 2 years at Valley, transferred to CSUN and graduated, and now I am currently getting my master's at Pepperdine.
And last but not least, Amira.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Happy Friday. My name is Amira Stitt, and I'm a success coach at LASC. I am a Promise alumna, and I'm attending San Diego State University, earning my BA in Interior Architecture. Welcome, everyone.
Thank you. Amira, we just lost your video, so if you could come back, we'd love that.
Oh, I'm
For
sorry,
those,
you lost my
no, now you're
video.
back. Well, now we see you.
Oh, sorry. I
No worries.
apologize. Hi.
And for those of you that are joining us, if you want to share your videos, we would love to see your faces, but we understand if that's not a possibility. So please, if you feel comfortable, let us see you. I am putting in the chat a participant guide that we're going to be working on together today. So you can click on that link and access that Google Doc, that participant chat. As we get started now, again, no more from me. I'm going to turn it over to Michelle and Amira, and they're going to get us started with an icebreaker. So go for it.
All right, everyone. So I'm going to have you participate in an icebreaker that Michelle and I have created for you all. It's called Poll Everywhere, and I want you all to click on the web link to join. It is located on the guide, and this guide is located in the chat, so hopefully you all have access to this. And if you can see on the screen, you can join by web or join by text if you are on your phone. So I'm going to give you all a moment to join. And then if you see the question at the top, it says, what do students need to be successful in college? I want you all to just answer this in either 1 to 3 words using, just a quick phrase. And then we're going to share answers, all right? So I'm going to give you all a moment.
So I'm going to go ahead and share some of the responses we're getting so far.
Okay. Let's see. Wow. Okay, so responses such as support, community resources. Oh, okay. Strategies, academic. So these are all amazing responses. So I just want to open up a small discussion, and I just want to ask you all, if you don't mind, you can just, put this down in the chat, unmute yourselves, it doesn't matter. How do these responses resonate with you, and what do they mean for students? Yes.
So one of the things that I'm seeing very commonly is community and the concepts of support, which I actually put community of support, which I think that's really what it's important for college students, is having a community that supports them. So I kind of feel like the two mingle together in a very perfect way, because if you are, I could not have got through my undergrad without friends, without a campus of support and love that I think every college student needs some kind of community to support them through their studies, because it's difficult, especially during this time with the pandemic. It's very difficult, and without any community, you feel isolated and alone, and it's really hard to be productive, to feel motivated when you feel isolated and you feel like no one cares about you feel like you don't matter to anyone. It really is very hard emotionally on people, and without having that community, that support, you will struggle to get through college. And yeah, Lindsay they said belong, and I agree. It's belonging is really what community and support really gives people, is that the feeling that they exist, they matter, that there are people out there who can help them, and that there's someone there for them. They're not alone.
I think also, just to piggyback off of what Cameron said, support is so big. And for students, I think, unconsciously they are seeking out that support, because going into college, especially if they're going in for the first time or as a transfer, there's so many overwhelming things, and you can feel lost, helpless. That's why support was the first thing that comes to mind, because before you even think about the breakdown of your classes and all that kind of stuff, it's just a transition of even being a student. Support is, I think, the number one tool to get you on your feet when you're starting your academic journey, whether it's a transfer or for the first time or something new. I think that's just universal for students, even if they don't realize it.
Yes, Sally?
Hi. So yeah, just to kind of continue, I think support is definitely one of the major things in order to be successful in college. But I also think having kindness, not just from the people around you, but definitely kindness for yourself, and to know that, it isn't easy. And And it's something that you have to keep pushing through. And if you ever face a challenge, just be kind to yourself and know that you can get through it with support, hopefully, and guidance. And just kind of don't put yourself down for not being able to achieve something right away or whatever the case may be.
All right, thank you for your amazing responses, everyone. So I'm going to close this off here and I'm going to pass this on to our amazing success coaches, Giselle and Pauline.
Hello, everybody. So I am going to go ahead and share my screen. We're going to go over a presentation. So a lot of what you've seen in the word cloud are key points of what students need to be successful, right? So now we're going to go over the work that LA College does and how we support that. Okay, so LA College Promise. So what is LA College Promise? So a lot of us who are currently in the program, we have an idea of all the work that we've done to help support students, but basically LA College Promise is a program that helps serve first-time, full-time students with the support needed to complete their goals, whether it's transfer to a four-year, get a certificate, or just go straight into the workforce. So not only are we providing free tuition, but we're providing wraparound services that we know students need now in order to, focus in class, stay in class, or just ultimately be a successful student. But some of the key elements in the program is that we offer free tuition for 2 years, priority registration to make sure that they're getting enrolled in the classes that they need, additional financial resources for books, food, or transportation. So with COVID and everything, even before, we did offer students emergency grants, right? So a lot of students' employments were impacted. Their housing was unsure of. So we did provide them with, a couple $100 to help sure that they can stay in school and just feel supported in that way. So in the way that we were caring about them. They also got a free laptop, right? So as we know, all the students went virtual in 2020. So even before that, we were offering free laptops, but this really made an impact in students' lives just because a lot of students didn't have laptops. So how were they going to stay in school and continue to go in school if they didn't have, technology that they can be in class? And lastly, they have a dedicated academic counseling, support and financial services. As we know, at the community college, there is so many students trying to seek counseling. So there is a designated support team for the students, to help them make sure they get their education plans, get enrolled in classes, and their success coaches, right, to make sure they serve as a liaison to get them connected to these different services.
Okay, so our goal here at Promise is to increase the number and rate of college-bound high school and first-time college students. We normally get a lot of our high school students entering college for the first time, so that's our goal, to increase. And in addition to that, to stimulate the economy by responding to the workforce readiness gap in California. So we try to help our students to make sure that they are ready for the workforce as well, and with career guidance and things like that. In addition to that, we help students achieve their dreams, just like Giselle mentioned, whatever the goal might be, if that's to achieve and to transfer a certificate or anything, an associate's as well. So that's our goal at Promise.
So our program is heavily set on the students, right? We want to make sure the students are successful. They're getting their classes, staying in their classes, and completing their classes. But with that being said, what does a student experience look like, right? Their first 2 years are free and they're covered by Promise. We want students, well, the requirement is that students take 12 to 15 units per semester because we do want them to complete their goal in a timeline that, gets them to transfer or finish in a timely manner. They also have a structured English, right? So during the onboarding process, there is success coaches or the outreach team that make sure that they are getting enrolled in classes that they need, rather than classes that they're just randomly picking. Students are getting regular success coaches, right? So the success coach team and the Promise team, peer mentors, they do weekly check-ins, daily check-ins to make sure that the students are, how they're doing in their classes. Are they connecting to tutoring? Are they, doing the things that they may need to be successful? And just kind of forming those relationships and with the student. Financial assistance, not only do we connect them with additional financial aid, we help them with help them make sense of their financial aid, and then connect them with any resources that we think may benefit them. And again, they get their free laptop their first year, brand new laptop to keep, to make sure that they are able to do the work that they need to do. So what makes LA College Promise different, right? So throughout the years, there's been a big impact on, a big emphasis on having a promise, right? Making sure students felt like they are being supported. But our LA College Promise program, it's very big on holistic support and completion, right? So we want to make sure that they get the AOC complete, just so they can get that priority registration to get the classes they need and complete the classes. We also have a transition program, right? Not only do we want students to get into college, but we also want to prepare them for college, right? So during the onboarding process, they'll be involved in a summer transition, right, to kind of get their toes wet, and so they're not just kind of thrown in the fall. And then dedicated counseling, right? Again, there is an actual counseling team that helps them during their counseling portion, their educational planning, to make sure that they're taking the classes they need. Open eligibility, so there is no restrictions, right? Anybody can apply to the program as long as they're a first-time, first-year student, right? So they could have graduated 15 years ago, never went to college, and they want to start, this year, and they're eligible for that as long as they, meet the residency requirement and have a high school diploma. There's no cohort size limit. If it's needed, we have, as many students come, we're going to serve those students. It doesn't matter. There's no cap to that. And then we have a lot of community partnerships, right? So we know we can't do it alone. So we, the district has formed a lot of relationships. So with like the Office of Mayor, with the Maya program, Study Abroad program, and then with the Human IT to help us get us laptops and so on.
So now some fun information, how Promise have really been effective for Promise and non-Promise students. So fall to spring persistent, we saw average 25% point higher for our LA Promise students. So we did start in 2017. So this is data from 2017 to 2020. In addition to that, we have fall to fall persistence average 23% points higher from LACP students. And this is 2017 to 2019. In addition to that, we did see a higher rate of students completing math and English, or English and math their first year. All of our students start taking math and English their first semester. They tried to tackle that. So we did see that more than double the rate for our LA Promise students has gone up. And then in addition to that, we have degree completion. So 301% increase in numbers of students completing in 2 years. So 2016 LAUSD full-time students, first-time students versus 2017 LA Promise students. Then we also have 43% increase in the number of students completing in 3 years. All fall 2016 entry versus all fall 2017 entry. And then in the next slide, we can see more of a visual, if we are visual learners, of our data. So yes, and this is a visual representation.
And then next, so what do success coaches do, right? We went over the program. So what role do success coaches play when working with students, right? So do they provide near peer mentorship? So I guess kind of the intention is, we want to make sure that students are meeting with students who have been in the same place as them, so that we provide the near peer mentorship. They're less intimidated. They're like, oh, they're like me. They went to community college too. I can trust that person, and it's easy for them to build that rapport with that success coach. So make sure students are on track, right? We do a lot of case management where we follow up with every student and make sure that they're, again, staying in classes. And if you do drop classes, hey, I noticed that you dropped 2 classes. Is everything okay? How can I help support you with that? Right. And we provide, daily and weekly check-ins. And success coaches stay up to date with current laws and academic bills. So through our bi-weekly meetings. We success coaches get informed of different, bills that have come down from the chancellor's office. And, for example, like AB 705, right? Success coaches know that information. So when it was implemented, they were saying, hey, did you know that because of this bill, you are eligible to take these classes and they don't get stuck in the remedial classes? So this is kind of information that they get relay to the students. Otherwise, it would be hard for them to get that. And then through workshop series, success coaches help students develop time management skills, study skills, email etiquette, and importance of self-care. So basically, they do the wraparound services that students may need aside from academic counseling, right? Because it's a lot more than just counseling. And lastly, thank you. So we just went over our LA College Promise program and the role that success coaches play. Now the success coach Amir will show us a visual presentation of the challenges that students face and how success coaches can help the students get through that.
Hey everyone, so I have created a Powtoon, so we're just going to screen share really quick the Powtoon that I created for y'all, and I hope you all enjoy this, so just give us 1 second.
Yep.
Yes.
Yay! So I hope that you all enjoyed my Powtoon. It took me a short while to create that. So now we're going to read our coach testimonials. We have 2, and I'm going to begin with mine. So again, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Amira Stitt, and I am a current LACP coach at Los Angeles Southwest College. I joined LACP in 2018 due to my step-grandmother and the past LACP counselor. I met with the CP counselor while I was a senior in high school, and I told her I don't want to attend a community college. I want to go to a Cal State after I graduate. She then told me, well, you can attend a Cal State if you want to, but let me tell you all the benefits of the Promise program. My counselor then explained the benefits of joining Promise, earning my associate's degree to transfer from a community college, and then transferring. I still wasn't satisfied. I didn't want to attend a community college. On the day I had graduated from high school, I was completely cut off from my parents. I didn't know what to do, and I didn't have any funds to pay for my admissions fees. I was accepted to Cal Poly Pomona and a couple other universities that I wanted to go to, but again, I couldn't afford it. The Promise counselor reached out to me again, and she told me that along with Promise, she would support me. She kept her word as she guided me down the path to success. She taught me how to be academically independent. After I graduated with 2 associate degrees, I was accepted to SDSU. Unfortunately, COVID hit and I had lost my job. My former CP counselor reached out to me again after my graduation with a job position. And this was to be a success coach for the Promise program. I immediately took the position as I wanted to give back to the program and in a way to thank her. I wanted to show students that you have support. You have a support system with the College Promise program. I wanted to do what she has done for me for all Promise students. Thank you so much, everyone. I hope that my testimonial was insightful. And now I'm going to pass this over to Michelle as she also has a testimonial.
Thank you, Amira. Hi again, everyone. My name is Michelle Sanchez. I am the success coach at LAVC. So a little bit about me. I started my career at LAVC. I was a part of the original cohort of Promise students. And originally, I wasn't really interested in attending community college. I was set on going out of state, but unfortunately, with the cost of tuition, that didn't seem feasible for me. But luckily, one of my high school counselors recommended me to Valley College and let me know that they currently have the Promise program going on and that my tuition was going to be covered. So financially, it seemed like the better option for me. So once I began my career at Valley College, I enjoyed my first year, and then in my second year, I was actually asked to become, or the opportunity to become a Promise mentor came along, and I applied and I got it. So I was able to be a Promise mentor, probably part of the first batch of Promise mentors that were created. And my duties were to assist with the summer transition. I was able to connect with the students that I met during that summer transition, and I was able to actually stay connected with them during their semesters until I myself transferred. And this really allowed me to see kind of like the behind the scenes of Promise. It was really interesting to just kind of go along and see everything that went behind to know exactly where it is that there's more than just the free tuition that we offered. So after my year, I was able to transfer to CSUN, and then I graduated from CSUN with my bachelor's in psychology. And then after that, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. But thankfully, I had my coordinator reach out to me, Cynthia Lopez, and she let me know that there was an opportunity to come back as a success coach. And because I was already so familiar with the program, I knew the program, I was in the program, this seemed like such a wonderful opportunity to kind of just go back and give back to my own school. So now I'm back kind of guiding these new students, especially these students coming out of the pandemic, because I have so much that I want to be able to offer them. I know that I can connect with them. I know exactly what they're going to be lost in. I know exactly who to refer them to. And I honestly think they enjoy hearing that I am also a Promise student. I'm a success story. A lot of them just kind of don't believe like, oh, what, you were in the Promise program? It's like, yeah, it's been around that long. Like I did that, I was there. And ultimately, it's just a good opportunity for me to go back and see that students are succeeding the exact same way that I did, that the 2 years, even 3 years, it's possible. You can go through the program and you can come back even if you wanted to and just kind of mentor them as well. Yeah. So thank you. And with that, we're going to go ahead and pass it on to the success coaches and kind of give you more insight on the student journey.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, Michelle and Amira. I think they provide a really good example of how the success coaches are successful in providing student support, especially in their first year. We're actually going to pivot a little bit, and I'm going to be sharing a little bit more about my story. I graduated college, no, I'm sorry, I graduated high school in 2017 and began community college the same year that Promise was started, but I actually didn't get the chance to participate in the program, mostly because I was not proactive on my part. I did not have the college mindset, especially at the time. And that actually translated into me stopping out of community college before my first semester even ended. So I actually stopped out of community college at ELAC right after midterms, my first semester. When I started. And the reason I bring this up is because in my experience, looking back now, it's really helpful for me to identify the points in which someone like a success coach, whether it be with Promise or with the campus respectively, that I was attending at ELAC, it's really helped me identify to be able to support my students, both here at ELAC and in College Promise, And during those pivotal moments where I know there can be a lot of anxiety, a lot of imposter syndrome, especially with our first generation students, if they were anything like me, starting at ELAC, knowing absolutely no one on campus, never having someone that they know going to college, that was really rough for me because I was the first in my family to begin that journey. And so in that, Joanna, if you don't mind sharing the student journey, because of my experience of stopping out and now being a success coach here at East, we have been able to identify 4 main pivotal moments in the first year student journey that we believe success coaches can be really vital in ensuring the success and retention of first year students, not only to their second year, but also within those little moments, like after their first midterms, during fall to spring persistence, and also during their first spring semester at the end of their second year. So we will be going over those 4 touch points that you can see in white, and E is actually going to start us off with the first semester.
All right, everyone. Great evening once again. So as you guys can see from the handoff to outreach, from outreach to success coach, so we also outreach once they're done with their recruitment, once they are finished like onboarding them, then they'll do a warm handoff to the promise department at whatever school it is. So we will get paired up with, they will get paired up with a success coach. Especially for our first gen students, we want to make sure that they are well taken care of, make sure that they have the services that they need. And we want to be there for them because we don't want them to be lost out there in college. So we want to make sure that they're there. We got y'all. So we continue to build rapport with them, you know, just letting them know who we are, what we're here to do. And we basically go over what our role is, because they're thinking that we're actually counselors. I'm like, there's certain things we can't do as success coaches, like the educational plans or the grad petitions, but we help them with class registration assistance and helping them with navigating the student portal. Then it comes with the coach connection, which means, as I said before, getting to know us, setting up one-on-ones with the coach and basically giving them support, actually being their cheerleader, saying, hey, you got this, you'll be just fine. So next, Angela, you want to take it away for the first midterms?
Yeah, so in the second of 4 moments that we've identified that are very vital in the success to a first year student's journey, the second one that we've identified is the first season of midterms. And the reason that we bring this up is that in my experience, I found that students, not that they're struggling necessarily with the material, although that can be the case, but we find that especially for first generation students and students who are new to the community college system or are facing the stigma of community college and what comes with that, we find that there's a lot of anxiety, there's a lot of imposter syndrome of not knowing whether or not college is for them. And during the first midterms, as you can see, the follow-up is resource connections. And so really, as a success coach, our goals during the first season of midterms for our first year students is to make sure that they're fully supported, not only academically, but holistically in their academic confidence, in their self-confidence, and also in their ability to advocate for themselves and for others as well. And so that's really why we focus on the first seasons of midterms, because we really feel that if they can be successful and confident going into this first, well, not first, but this pivotal moment in really their confidence as a student, this is really going to be testing them, and not only literally, but figuratively testing them on, their success so far and their ability to put all of their skills and tools into their backpack and use it accordingly. So the role of the success coach in this instance would be resource connections, referring students out to tutoring, being there to support, which also really stems from the handoff of outreach, building that rapport from the start so that they feel comfortable reaching out to us and also feel comfortable letting us know that they need assistance, and so that we can be there to help them. And so after the first midterms, the next pivotal point that we identified was fall to spring persistence, which E will be going more into detail about.
All right. So for October, she went over the midterms, and here comes November. It is close to the season finale, which is the finals. So they gotta get ready for spring registration because like around November, the spring registration for promise students, it's gonna start coming up in November, like in the mid or towards like the end of November. It depends. And we help them register for classes for the spring to make sure that they're all okay. And then also once December hits, it's finals. So finals, we want to make sure that we give them the resources, as to piggyback what Angela says, to give them resource connections to tutoring, give them like, if they need any, like, we also create events for like study jams if they want to study for their finals. And to basically help them get ready for the second semester, which is the spring semester. Make sure that their requirements are up, make sure they're ready, already prepared, they make sure that everything is going to be okay with them. And then we move on to January. So January is like the motivational pit stop, which includes motivating them, saying, hey, you got this. Do not let the grades discourage you. For our program specifically, we do a thing called the appeals process. They can only do it for fall semester only. They can't do fall and spring. They can only do it one time. And once, so they don't get discouraged. They say, oh, I want to be a part of the Promise program. There's still opportunity for you to be a part of the Promise program. We always assure that to them. And we're there to motivate them, saying, hey, you got this. I'm gonna give you the resources. I'm gonna work with you. I'm gonna be with you to the finish line. So that is what we do when it comes to the support and appeals process. So Angela, if you want to kick it off to the season finale of the first spring.
Yeah, so there is a few good points in the chat. Thank you so much, Leslie, for bringing that up. We do want to emphasize that we are including mental health resources in the resource connections, but thank you so much for pointing that out. I think it is really important to identify that specifically. And then I also loved the point about how they can engage their interest, and that's really what we're focusing on here in the first spring. During the first spring, we really want to focus on the students that are currently still undecided or are having a little bit of hesitancy in choosing or deciding on their career path or major. So really what we want to focus on during their first spring as they transition to their second year so that they're better prepared for transfer and for those types of handoffs to the transfer center, to the completion center, depending on the campus. We really want to focus on providing workshops and kind of self-discovery and identity workshops so that we can help them identify and also for us be able to provide the support and resources that they need and that they're looking for so that it's not just a blanket general kind of reach out, but we're actually honoring the students and their commitments and what they're interested in. So as a success coach during the first spring and the transition to the second year, not only supporting them academically, but really making sure that they have the tools to be prepared for transfer or for completing their educational goal as that time is still running. So as a success coach, being able to host those workshops, being able to reach out with messaging and information about internships, staying up to date on different curriculums and also opportunities on their campuses respectively is a really vital point in the success coach job during this time. We want to make sure that we're up to date with everything that we can provide to them and also making sure that the communication is still open both ways because although we can be sending out this information, email blast after email blast, day after day. What really is important is making sure that the students are retaining the information. And again, that goes back to building that rapport and connection and community through the support and appeals and also the coach connections in the very beginning of their first year. And so with that, thank you so much, Joanna, for sharing that. And if at this point, everyone can refer back to their participant guide, I will be sharing my screen, and at this point, we will be going into a brief 10-minute breakout room. Joanna will be assigning those, and during this breakout room, we will be going over 10 minutes to reflect, and I will get in on the topics in just a little bit. But first, to show everyone how to access the Jamboard, you can go to your participant guides to the breakouts section, and then click Student Journey, and then just go straight from this link to the Jamboard. And for those of us who are not familiar with Jamboard, I'm going to give a brief tutorial. So how to use Jamboard. We do have 4 slides. If you click at the top right arrow, And depending on which one you are assigned to in your breakout rooms, you can come down here to the left-hand side and click sticky note. If you would like to post your idea through this way, you can type in success coach ideas for your respective campuses. Of course, you can be more specific as you would like, or you can also go down here to the text box and also do it this way if you would like to text box. So with that, we will be going, I will be going back to the participation guide. And so in the breakout rooms today, our goal is going to be to give you all a chance to reflect on the student journey at your campuses respectively, and how their journey is being reflected not only here, but within your departments. What are the touch points in your student journey? Where do you find that your students are having the most challenges? And also, how can a success coach help them get through these challenging times, whether it be academically or non-academically? We really want to focus on a holistic perspective moving forward with the coach suggestions. So in that, Joanna has assigned the breakout rooms, and if anyone has trouble accessing the Jamboard, please go ahead and let us know. But with that, we will go ahead and get started.
Yep, I'm just going to open the rooms. You have 10 minutes in the rooms. And if you need anything, let us know. Just do the ask for help. Is everybody able to access the Jamboard? Really, just at least one person in the group needs to access the Jamboard, because then you all can share. So there is a timer, but we will also give you a little warnings, and we will see you in 10 minutes. So have fun. Right, so the only people left are us, right?
Yes.
I don't think I sent anybody. Okay, no, I didn't. All right, we can pause the. So we have like 3 to 4 minutes, like 3 minutes for sharing. So like one share out, but we can continue the conversation at 4.
All right, that's cool.
I'll put my thing in the chat, my links.
Joanna, you were making me nervous. I was just like, I was hearing your voice like, Lee, just expand.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back from your breakouts. Take it away, E.
All right, so welcome back. I hope everyone had a great conversation about the student journey. So would anyone like to share or put in the chat about what y'all talked about? Yes, Cameron.
So one of the things we talked about in our group was the fact that there needs to be definitely counseling for especially high school students who are coming in to community college or even university, regardless of where they're going. There needs to be that counseling that tells them hey, your expectations of high school are not going to be the same as what's going to be expected from you from college. You are very different priorities you're going to have. There are some similarities, but there needs counseling really is one of the big takeaways I think that really helps students, is because they can talk to a counselor to understand what college is like, because I feel a lot of times high schools don't prepare students for a collegiate experience, and that can set students up for failure because they enter with the high school expectations expecting that to be similar, and they're not, and then students end up going, if they're going to university or even in community college, they can acquire debt by simply not knowing what they're doing and being kind of punished for being new to this whole experience. So I think one of the big things is counseling, how to register for classes, what you should expect from classes, what kind of workloads you should be expecting, what kind of time management skills. These are things that not every high schooler has. Not every high schooler has come out of high school with the ability to manage their time properly, to understand the setting they're going into. So I think really counseling is one of the big takeaways that really helps first semester students.
That is a very great answer. I really love it. Anyone else? Anyone want to raise their hand and talk about it?
Oh yeah, would love to piggyback on what Cameron said, because we Vita, Lindsay, and Tev Hedvig and I also had a similar conversation where, you know, most professors will not assume this is your first semester. They will have their sessions the way they usually have it. And so that's why I think counseling and success coaches are such an important resource, because a first-time student or a student who hasn't been in school for a while is not going to know how to read the syllabus. Like, they might not understand that the syllabus is the Bible for the class, or they might not understand the concept of office hours, like little things that, you know, are natural to you when you've been in college for a while can be super confusing, especially for, as Cameron said, high schoolers coming into college for the first time, because it's just a whole new experience, because most professors will go on the assumption, we're all adults here, I am here if you need me, but I am not here to hold your hand. I am here to teach you. So a lot of times, even just learning how to read the syllabus is a skill that students have to understand. Like, there are so many little skills that aren't necessarily related to the academia that students need to learn in order to succeed.
All right, this is a very good conversation. I wish we can keep it going till 5 o'clock, but I know people got places to go. So, like, Johnny, want to take it away? Anyone want to take it away?
It's actually Giselle. Giselle's going to transition us.
All right, Giselle.
All right, so thank you all for joining us today and learning the ways that we've helped support our students further through success coaching and the wraparound services. And that we hope that you found ways that you can implement on your campus to help support your students further, either through implementing new success coach programs or just understanding ways to kind of identify those pinpoints that students are facing throughout their first year of college. So as Crystal mentioned, if you do need to leave at 4, she has provided some links for you. So the survey for our presentation today, so some of the next 2 events that are happening in December or workshops, and then the opportunity for you to apply for workshops in the spring if you need to. So again, it's 4, but we will be here for you for the next 30 minutes if you want to go into a more deeper dive, learn more about the program or success coaching, or talk to the success coaches who are doing the work now. So, you know, thank you for coming with us, and we hope that you found this insightful.